Hey everyone, and welcome back. In this episode, I have a bottle that I've been looking forward to ever since the last release of this series. It's the Westward Milestone American Single Malt Edition 3. I'm Tuck, and this is Bourbon Broke. So since this Westward Milestone is an American single malt, we know it's 100% malted barley. As far as the age statement on it, it's undisclosed because it comes from a 21-barrel Solaris system, which basically means it's an infinity barrel. As far as the proof on this one, as you recall, the edition 1 came out at 86 proof. Last year's edition 2 was 97 proof, so they bumped that up 11 more points. And on this one right here, it comes in at 108.5, so I was really happy to see that. As far as the SRP, this one's pretty salty, just like last year. This one comes in at $249.99 SRP, and as far as a secondary, it's really too new. This one just came out. I ordered it as soon as it was released. Literally just got this today, so we'll see what that secondary does on this one. I know the edition 2 from last year, that got up pretty high on the secondary out there. I went back and checked online to see what they were like out there right now. I even saw one up over $1,900 for the edition 2, which is just crazy. But anyway, we'll see what happens with the secondary on this one. Anyway, let's get into this one and see how it is. So I thought last year's Westward Milestone Edition 2 was one of the absolute best bottles that came out in 2024. It was just absolutely fantastic. And I'm not necessarily a huge American single malt fan, but man, that one was really good. I remember on the Edition 2, and I remember this because I just had some this past week and I busted out the bottle and had a little bit more. And it was just, just over the top of raisins on the nose. And I remember there was like a chocolate, but more like a lighter chocolate, like a cocoa, almost like a milk chocolate in there with a lot of cherry, not a heavy dark cherry like a Luxardo, but just a regular cherry taste. And I remember that palate was very tobacco-y, like a cherry tobacco, a lot of cherry in there. The finish itself was good, but it wasn't long. Again, last year's was only 97 proof. They creeped it up from the previous year, 11 proof points. So I'm really looking forward to this one at 108.5 proof. So again, I have not tried this yet. I literally just got it in the mail a few hours ago, unpacked it, threw it in the Glencairn for a little bit, and let's get into it, see how this one is, see how this nose is. Wow, I'm looking forward to this. You can tell it's an American single malt, and you can even tell off the nose that this is a higher proof point than that release from last year. Now I am getting some raisin again in this year, but not nearly as much as the last release. That last one was just over the top raisins on the nose. This one, there's definitely raisins still in there, but not quite as much as there was last year. Getting some caramel, cherry. And again, you can definitely tell this is, a lot of malted barley. You can tell this is an American single malt. But that nose is just so good, so unique. And I know I mentioned this in the last bottle as well, the episode I did on that. This is one of the most unique bottles you will ever get. That nose, as soon as you smell this, as soon as you get that in the nose, you know what it is. I know this sounds kind of weird. Not that I ever get weird on the channel, but it almost smells golden. Like if gold had a smell, it would be the Westward Milestone Edition 3.
Just shut up and taste it!
That's so good. Let's get this on the palate. Get on there. Wow. Well, you can definitely tell that proof point went up. Man, it has a nice spice on there. And it's weird, without any rye or anything in this, just a single malt, 100% malted barley, you would not expect that. It has a nice spice in it, but very, very subtle and smooth at the same time. Wow. And getting some raisin coming through from the nose. Again, not as much as last year. There's a darker red fruit. This one is almost like a very, very dark chocolate. Maybe some like fig in there. Little bready. We're talking some fig Newton right here. I'm liking it. You know, like last year's release, I tasted like tobacco in there. Not necessarily a leather tobacco, but definitely some tobacco. And it has that hint of cherry in it. Getting a little bit of oak in there. But man, this is kind of weird. It's like a nice subtle taste on the palate, but it's complex at the same time. This is fantastic. Man. And that finish is definitely lasting much, much longer on this edition here, on this bottle. Obviously, you know, from that 108.5 on there, that's definitely making that finish just last and last. On that finish, there's some cinnamon in that finish. Cinnamon and oak, getting some caramel coming through. Man, this is so good. This is so unique. You know, this is one, it's not an everyday sipper by any means, especially at that price point. You know, $249.99, $250 is a lot to spend on a bottle. And we're not even talking, you know, a secondary. That's the SRP on this one right here. But man, if you don't mind spending that money and you can get your hands on one, I would definitely do that. It looks good up on the shelf. I mean, look at this freaking bottle. That's one of the coolest bottles I have ever seen. Comes in some great packaging. Comes in this cool box right here. Comes with a little card over here, you know, thanking you for the purchase. Thank you for that $250. But the packaging's awesome on it. The bottle's awesome on it. But again, it's not an everyday sipper by any means. But if you don't mind spending that, you know, it's nice to have on the shelf when friends and family come over and want to try different things. You say, hey, you have to try this one. You want to try something incredibly unique? Try this one. And I guarantee you people will absolutely love it. Wow. And I just keep going back to the word unique. It's just so unique. When you taste one of the Westward Milestone American single malts, you know exactly what it is. Without question, one of the best I've had so far this year in 2025. It's you know, I was so excited when I heard this was coming out, excited to get my hands on it, excited that they bumped it up to 108.5. This absolutely, you know, does not disappoint. As far as a rating, man, you know, it's, again, that $250, that's a lot to spend on a bottle. I totally understand that. Even so, I'm going to go a 94 on this one. That's a very, very good score. One of the higher scores that I've had on the show. And I think it's absolutely worth it. This, man. And you know, if you don't want to shell out the $250 for it, see if one of your friends have it. You can go over and try it from them. Personally, I've never seen it in a bar or anything like that, but if you go to more of a higher end bar that carries, you know, a lot of really, really good bottles, maybe they'll have one. I'm not sure, but if you ever do get a chance to, you know, taste this, even if you don't, you know, buy it, if you get a chance to taste this, you know, don't pass it up. This is so freaking good. Yes, you are. Yeah, I'm going to have to get me some more. So before I get into my wrap up, I do have something very, very important that I would like to share with everyone. My good friends Kurt and Trenton over at SLB Drinks have their annual Riley Children's Hospital charity bottle raffle coming up on November 1st. Now, these guys have raised so much money for the kids at Riley Children's Hospital. I know last year they raised over $340,000, and every single penny that they bring in goes directly to that. They don't take anything at all. Over the past 3 years, they've raised well over $500,000 for Riley Children's Hospital. If you'd like to get in on this raffle for all those bottles, you can go to slbcares.org, and I'll put that down in the description below as well. Remember, that's slbcares.org. Go there, buy some raffle tickets. They're only $5 each, and it goes for such a great cause for the kids at Riley Children's Hospital. So I did just want to mention that. So anyway, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really does help me out. If you'd like to check out some Bourbon Broke stuff, just go to bourbonbroke.com and check out everything on the store there. That's it for this episode. And remember, keep your friends close and your bourbon or your American single malt closer. Cheers, everyone.